Do we need a new internet? 2 decades ago, a 23-year-old Cornell University graduate student brought the internet to its knees with a simple software program that skipped from computer to computer at blinding speed, thoroughly clogging the then tiny network in a space of a few hours. The program was intended to be a digital Kilroy, was here, just a bit of cybernetic fungus that would unobtrusively wander the net. However, the programmer error turned it into a harbinger, heralding the arrival of a darker cyberspace. And it's turned out the government industry writes most of the big viruses. More of a mirror for all of the chaos and conflict of the physical world than a utopia refuge from it. The mainstream media always demonizes the internet and talks about how dangerous and evil and bad it is. Since then, things have gotten much, much worse. Oh, it's so terrible on the internet. The only thing that kept our economy going after what happened in the 90s. Bad enough that there is a growing belief among engineers and security experts that internet security and privacy have become so maddeningly elusive that the only way to fix the problem is to start over. They're always advertising how the web is dangerous, how you get ripped off on the web. I've seen the federal statistics. Close to 90% of credit card fraud is people inside banks and institutions and government selling people's data. I mean, they have thefts all the time of 1 million names and addresses and social security numbers, or Bank of America, 3 million. People go inside. It's like a bank robbery. They put millions of names on one disk, inside job. They then sell it to foreign nations, Russia, India, Nigeria. They allow people to sit there and legally engage in crime from overseas. Then they use the web to carry it out. It's like the government's now making all the passports have RFID, a bunch of different driver's license have radio frequency identification devices, and now it's admitted in the news, but never nationally, that people are driving around with readers, and in minutes in a major city can get hundreds of names and social security numbers, and are using that for fraud. Does the government care? No. The worse the identity theft gets, the more control they'll call for with biometric access to your data. Oh, you got a thumbprint or face scan now to use your card because there's so much identity theft. What a new internet might look like is still widely debated. That's not true. They've already built it. But one alternative would in effect create a gated community. I want Paul Watson to do I Told You So article and pull up that 4-year-old story he did about MySpace as the Trojan horse of net censorship. Listen to this, a gated community where users would give up their anonymity and certain freedoms in return for safety. Oh, safety granted by the government. Today, that is already the case for many corporate and governmental internet users. Yeah, you have the safety to not see Infowars.com. Keep your mind safe. As a new and more secure network becomes widely adopted. Remember how they said put all your money in 401ks because the government would keep it safe? And now they're stolen, more than half your value? They'll take it all before they're done. Oh, they got something safe for you, where users would give up their anonymity and certain freedoms in return for safety. Give up your liberty for security. What did the founders say about that? You'll get neither liberty nor security doing that. Today, there is already the case for many corporate and government internet users. As a new and more secure network becomes widely adopted, the current internet might end up as the bad neighborhood of cyberspace. No, they say that once they get about 30% of people to sign up for Internet 2, they're just going to shut down the old web. Remember like 5 years ago when Level 3 and Cogent, just two medium-sized backbone peer-to-peer systems, had a fight with each other and over a third of the web was inaccessible? They just punch a few buttons, it's gone, okay? You would enter at your own risk and keep an eye over your shoulder while you were there. What does this mean? You would, keep an eye over your shoulder. Oh, my goodness. Unless we're willing to rethink today's internet, says Nick McCowan, a Stanford engineer involved in building the new internet. Oh, building the new internet. We're just waiting for a series of public catastrophes. That was driven home late last year when a malicious software program thought to have been unleashed by a criminal gang in Eastern Europe suddenly appeared after easily sidestepping the world's best cyber defenses. Folks, they've built the Microsoft operating system that most of the internet and the web and your computer's based on with government backdoors into all of it, and that's what's allowed all this to happen. And they know that and brag about it. It's very funny. Known as Conficker, it quickly infected more than 12 million computers, ravaging everything from computer systems at a surgical ward in England to the computer networks of a French military. That's a bunch of baloney. The military has their networks off system. What, some of the stuff the troops used in their barracks got messed up? Conflicker remains a ticking time bomb. Oh. It now has the power to lash together those infected computers into a vast supercomputer called a bonnet that can be controlled clandestinely by its creators. What comes next remains a puzzle. Yeah, that was just the Russians, many experts say, tying into the surveillance net that the NSA and Northcom are using the Internet for that they designed. Well, you don't think the Chinese and the Russians don't know it's designed to surveil everybody? The worldwide wiretap, as it's called by them? Conficker would be used as the world's most powerful spam engine. Perhaps it distributes software programs to trick computer users into purchasing fake antivirus protection. Oh, no. Or, much worse, it might also be used to shut off entire sections of the Internet. But whatever happens, Conficker has demonstrated the Internet remains highly vulnerable to a concerted attack. And we know the globalists that ran the false flag attack of 9/11 and have ran the false implosion of the banking system to bring in their world government. We know they're the main culprits. Most hackers are actually fighting them. You know, they act like hackers are running around attacking and robbing and stealing. No, that's the government people and the organized crime. Real hackers, I'd say 95% of them, are defending free speech all the way to the wall. And we salute them. If you're looking for a digital Pearl Harbor, we now have the Japanese ship steaming towards us on the horizon, said Rick Wesson, the chief executive of Support Intelligence, a computer consulting firm, said recently. The Internet's original designers never foresaw that the academic and military research network they created would one day be the burden of carrying all the world's communications and commerce. There was no one central control point, and its designers wanted to make it possible for every network to exchange data with every other network. Little attention was given to security. Since then, there have been immense efforts to bolt up security with little effect. Total bull. It's a wonderful adventure on the Internet. But they'll make it all sterile with a few thousand sites. Already Time Warner in Texas, Time Warner in Canada is restricting the sites you can go to just a few thousand. That's on record. In many respects, we are probably worse off than we were 20 years ago, said Eugene Sapford. Oh, yes, it's just terrible that we now can surf around and have choices. See, they have to do this because the alternative media is destroying the mainstream propaganda whores. Their market share is imploding. The people have now had a taste of true diversity. The citizen media, citizen reporters are taking over. People are doing real reporting for their local town. They're even making it profitable. Just 2 or 3 men or women will set up local news in their small town. People start visiting it. People can go post on message boards about what happened to them at different businesses, which ones they like, which ones they don't. This is a true liberating force greater than Gutenberg's press. Movable type. And I'm sorry, you're not going to put the genie back in the bottle. That's why we have to race, though, to totally get into every corner of the web, ladies and gentlemen, and get our information, the freedom of information on every platform, and dominate those platforms. I mean, good luck keeping my information even out of Internet2. Good luck. In many respects, we're probably worse off than we were 20 years ago, said Eugene Sapford, the executive director of the Center for Education Research and Information Assurance and Security at Purdue University and pioneering Internet security researcher. Because of all the money that has been devoted to patching the current problem rather than investing in the redesign of our infrastructure. Oh, yes, we need to redesign and in their words, have a gated community where you give up your freedoms. That's a quote. Oh, yes. Because of all the money has been devoted to patching the current problem rather than investing in the redesign. That's not true. You're putting it all into the new system and then causing problems. In fact, many computer security researchers view the nearly 2 decades of efforts to patch the existing network as a Maginot Line approach to defense. That's what the French had against the Germans. No, the Vichy French that control most of the upper echelon of the French military stood down. That's what happened. In fact, many computer security researchers view the nearly 2 decades of efforts to patch the existing network as a Maginot Line approach to defense. See, that's not true. It's because it is diverse that it's so strong. That's why it's resisted all these attacks. They don't tell you that. a reference to France's series of fortifications that proved ineffective during World War II. The shortcoming is focusing on such sturdy digital walls that they once are evaded, the attacker has access to all the protected data behind them. Well, you just don't keep your key data on a computer that's hooked to the web. Now, what does Internet 2 do? It makes you put all your data on separate servers, which again gives the government and industry control. Hard on the outside with a soft, chewy center. This is the way many veteran computer security researchers think of such strategies. Despite a thriving global security industry that is projected to reach $79 billion in revenues next year, and the fact that 2002 Microsoft itself began an intense corporate-wide effort to improve the security of its software, Internet security has continued to deteriorate globally. No, it hasn't. This has made a new industry. They're just hijacking the only growth industry we've got that's kept the economy afloat. All right, we'll come back, start going to your phone calls. That's Internet 2. They're coming after your Internet.